What college did Jordan Mailata just say? It's not one I've heard of, probably not one you've heard of as well, and that's because it's not a college at all. Jordan Mailata never attended college. He's so good you might think he was a first-round pick at one point. He was not. This card was never read. This podium he never walked to, but eventually he was picked up by the Philadelphia Eagles in the 7th round back in 2018, but also perhaps maybe the athlete evolution. Players are getting faster and stronger. So I took it upon myself to pinpoint. I asked Coach Boeheim, why can't you guys close out these close games against good teams? The loss to Miami 8 days ago by 4 points. The same thing happened again here tonight. He did not like that. Now, there's been 2 prior Super Bowls here in State Farm Stadium. Super Bowl 42, won by the NFC Giants, and Super Bowl 49, won by the AFC Patriots. So 1 for each side. That's right, he started playing safety in high school. Then his coach, Ted Ginn Sr., told him to put his hand in the dirt and start playing defensive end. Then in the first half, Brown got off the bench, entered the floor, and proceeded to play 32 minutes in that game. He made a lot of dashes to the rack, and I can't dunk, but Malik Brown certainly can. Well, it's pretty quiet and lifeless here at Acrisure Stadium. All you might be able to hear are a couple of leaf blowers, and that's a microcosm of what Syracuse's offense did today in a 19-9 loss to Pittsburgh on the road. So Melendez with his second was the Big Ten Offensive Player of the Week back in February. He scored a career-high 4 goals against Georgetown. Got a pair today. But Fine wins another face-off. The Orange try to run it to safety. They do so successfully.
And John, you talk about Melendez's 2 goals. We said he might be moving to midfield to get that short stick matchup, and those are where the 2 goals are coming from, him dominating that matchup.
So perhaps a nice adjustment by John Crawley, the offensive coordinator on the Johns Hopkins side. Guy that played for Dave Petramala back in the day. They still keep in touch every now and then.
Had some good battles with John Crawley.
You ever save any of his shots?
I think so. I had to.
Yeah?
I was National Player of the Year against Hopkins. Or Player of the Week, I should say, not year.
Not quite year, but you'll take the week, yeah. Shorty on shorty, far side. Raposo defensively. And Cook on the offensive side for Syracuse. Under 30 seconds on the shot clock. Someone who's been a little quiet for the Orange is Jackson Burtwhistle today. Not many catch and shoot chances in front.
A lot of Syracuse's offense is inside. Here he is.
Right on cue, but Marcille ties his career high with his 16th save.
What I was going to say is Burtwhistle has been finding his money a little bit further out, and Hopkins has given up the inside, so you take that if you're Syracuse. Right there he got open on a cut, but that's really why we haven't called his name too much.
How about Raposo running the gauntlet there through 4 Syracuse riders?
And that's not an easy ride. A Syracuse Hopkins ride as a D-Biddy, you want to get rid of the ball. That's going to be a lot of stick checks, a lot of slashes.
It's like when you're man down and you got to run it up the field and just get it to the other side of the field. You're going to be expecting some double, some triple teams, and maybe some bruises the next day. You're no stranger to that, though, as a goalie, right? Those bruises.
Yeah, not a fun position if you want to keep your legs clean from bruises.
Collison holds. He's yet to really make an impact today. No points, 3 shots. The Orange done well on him defensively. But they can't stop Melendez. Throw your hats if you're a Johns Hopkins fan. Russell Melendez with 3, and it puts the Blue Jays in front.
You mentioned Collison. He's having a tough day, but he's still commanding so much attention. Look at all the eyes on Syracuse. They're looking at him. They don't want him to get the shot. That opens up Melendez for his 3rd of the day. He makes Mark pay.
Wow. What a move, what an adjustment by the Hopkins staff. Moving Melendez from attack to midfield to pinpoint those mismatches. He's taken full advantage today.
And how does Syracuse respond, right? Do you bring a pole up and cover him, or do you slide earlier? You got to do something to keep him contained.
Well, it's really smart because who do you put on Collison then if you want to switch somebody off of him to put on Melendez, right?
You're right, yeah. It's a good thing to have for Hopkins, all these weapons.
Pick your poison. Very poisonous right now is the Johns Hopkins offense. Battle for the loose ball. Last touch by the Blue Jays. Syracuse takes over. Aviles picks it up. Missed the past couple of games with an injury. Coach Gate told us it was a lower body injury, so he nursed that. Back in the lineup. It's big for Syracuse, not only defensively, but also situations like that in the clear.
Definitely, he's got great stick skills. You mentioned his high school career. His high school highlights are sick. He's scoring backhand goals and stuff, and now he's playing D-midi, so he can handle the rock.
He was the Long Island Player of the Year, so a two-way guy, but his Been a short stick deep mid through and through here at Syracuse. Skip pass to Simmons. In front, Thompson's open, and he buries it. Can't forget about 23 in white. Nobody accounted for Finn Thompson, and he makes the Blue Jays pay.
This is where Syracuse has found their success in front of the goal, mainly because Marcel's been able to stop everything outside. But we have a nice vision from Simmons here. He catches ball. He's very patient when he has this too. He doesn't rush the feed, lets the second slide come, and that opens up Thompson. No Hopkins player near him. Marcel can save everything, but he's not going to save a two-pump fake from Finn Thompson.
Alex Simmons on the assist, his 11th of the season. And the true freshman, wide open in front of Cage, takes care of the rest. Thompson hailing from Toronto, Canada. One of 4 brothers in his family. He's the youngest, kind of like Mike Powell, who will join us momentarily. It was up, it was down, it was here, it was there, it was everywhere. 16th ranked Syracuse football's battle with 5th ranked Clemson this past weekend was a roller coaster. Syracuse has some big games coming up. First, a Thursday night matchup with number 19 Florida State before a home date with Miami. The Orange will most likely need both of those wins if SU wants to compete and make the NCAA tournament. But don't forget about the veterans as well, because Syracuse has 2 guys, Joe Girard, Jesse Edwards. We talked about Jesse a little bit. Joe Girard transitioning from the point guard role to the shooting guard role. Levante, an incredible story across your collegiate career, starting at Seattle, one of the best players at that college, then taking the gamble, going across the country from Washington all the way to New York. Now you're spearheading one of the best teams in Syracuse soccer history. How does it feel to get the job done today and to be having the season you guys are having this year?
It's amazing, to be honest.
Now, when you think of the Badgers, think of the tough, snot-nosed, trench affair barn burners. Well, Purdue has the Jimmies and Joes and the X's and O's to play that kind of game. Case in point, I'll take the block P over the block W, and not just because that letter is used more in the Wordle. By the way, he's nicknamed Red. We mentioned this before.
Yes,
we couldn't
fun
get
fact.
the picture.
Yep.
We do have the picture of Adrian Autry with his red hair. There it is. So he was at a 5-star camp in high school. He grew up in New York City in the Bronx, and he had that red hair. Lawrence Moten said that that's kind of how he got his nickname, and that carried on from the city to Syracuse.
The 2 Hopkins players committing penalties.
All right, let's go back to that question I was asking. So passing Casey, passing Ryan in terms of career points towards the end of your career. Now, you separated it by a little bit there as well towards the final stretch of that 04 season. But what did that feel like to pass your brothers?
Well, amazing.
All right, a nice win for Syracuse there against the team at Hofstra they hadn't played since 2003. Let's one-up that, though. How about the first ever matchup between the Orange and the St. Bonaventure Bonnies? And on top of that, last night was an opportunity for Gary Gate and company to surpass their win total from last season's 4-10 disappointment. Tuesday night lacrosse in the Dome, St. Bonaventure sporting just a 1-6 record and just its 5th season as a varsity program. Alex Simmons gave the Bonnies a not-so-friendly welcome to ACC lacrosse. He spins and fires a rocket top shelf. 1-0 Cuse, not even a minute in. St. Bonaventure answered right back with Patrick Carpenter. Scoop, there it is. 4-2 Syracuse at the end of 1, and the Orange scored 4 more in the second. Luke Roa sent the Orange to the locker room up 5. The second half was essentially target practice for Syracuse. Max Rosa kicks off an 11-0 run with his first Gino of the year. Then DJ Johnny Cohen got involved with a feature on the Joey Spallina mixtape. One of 3 helpers for the Johns Hopkins transfer, and here's another one. Cohen finds Pete Fiorini, and the Baldwinsville product ripples the nylon. Orange up 21-5. Tage Hogue ended things on a good note, at least for the Bonnies. Hey, they don't leave New York with the win, but at least they got a highlight reel goal to hang their hat on. 22-6 the final score. 38-31, Georgia Tech in front. 6:50 left in the first half.
John, curious to see, let's not forget, when Syracuse went on a run over the Yellow Jackets last time these two met, that run happened because of a full court press. Jim Boeheim implementing a little bit, but not all out here in this first half.
See if Syracuse goes to that after this offensive possession, should they score. JG3 with the ball. He scored 28 against Georgia Tech in January with 6 threes, both ACC season highs. Now with Torrance, Marquette transfer, Buddy pass to Copeland, trampolines for 3, that's an air ball. Woof. Quadier Copeland airballs from straight away, missed it off to the right, bounced off the baseline. Georgia Tech basketball. Benny Williams, Judah Mintz walk onto the floor. Copeland walks over to Coach Boeheim, and he'll have a quick word with Coach. Malik Brown sprinting off as well.
I think I saw a little bit of a smirk from Jesse Edwards after Copeland let that fly from range. Not necessarily known for his ability to connect from downtown.
Sturdivant runs quickly right to left, finds Terry, who walks inside the three-point arc. Terry takes a pass from Sturdivant, fakes a three. Oh, draws a lot of contact. Takes a spill near side, fouled by Symir Torrance. He basically just pushed him. So a Syracuse foul, still Georgia Tech basketball on the left side. It's pretty clear. While Georgia Tech may have less men to work with, just 6, this speed will make up for that. Coleman with the basketball, a combo guard compared to Jordan Poole, projected second-round pick by 247 Sports. He holds straight away, gives off for Kelly. Now down low to Franklin, right block, back out to Coleman. Chest pass near side, Terry. Trampolines for 3, misses, Franklin slams! Ho, ho, ho! Watch out for Javon Franklin. Where'd the pogo stick come from? 40-31, Georgia Tech in front, under 6 to go first half. Over top of 3 Syracuse defenders. How about that from the Auburn transfer? Mintz with the basketball, feeds down low to Edwards on the baseline left side. Backing down Franklin, and he finishes. Jesse Edwards says, hey, I can do a little something too down low. He rolled and finished off the right side of the window with his right hand. 40-33 Georgia Tech. Terry open, a little over 5 minutes left in the first half. 2 different Georgia Tech players in double figures with Lance Terry and Miles Kelly. He has it far side, pulls up from NBA range. Oh, halfway down, didn't fall. Franklin the offensive rebound though. Back out to Coleman, quick trigger, misses off right. And Edwards teams up with Williams for the rebound. 2 good looks from the outside for Georgia Tech. None fall, remains a 7-point lead. Entry feed poked away. Edwards tried to snare it on the left block. Terry took it away. Now Sturdivant motors ahead right to left. Georgia Tech slows it down. Coach Pastner waving his hands, directing the offense. Sturdivant at the controls, drawing up the blueprints for this offensive possession. Buddy pass, far side to Coleman. Now a bounce pass, far corner 3 on the way. It's good. Miles Kelly, a quintuplet of 3s in this first half. 43-33 Georgia Tech, 4 minutes to go in the first frame. And Joe Girard drives inside, he travels. He's extending his left arm, signaling that he wants a defensive foul. He's not gonna get it though. Was trying to back down his defender on the right block. That's a Syracuse turnover, and it's Georgia Tech basketball.
And the Orange faithful certainly backing Joe Girard there. Appeared to be some contact, but officials say otherwise and goes against JG3. Syracuse has prioritized taking care of the basketball. That's just the 4th turnover of this first half, so it's not as if SU is coughing it up often, just need to make more of their offensive possessions.
Syracuse presses, Franklin can't handle the inbounds pass, now he corrals it, sends it up ahead to Kelly. Uncontested 3, it's good! Miles Kelly, are you kidding me? His 5th 3 of the first half, and Georgia Tech's up 13. It's 46-33 Yellow Jackets. 4:08 left in the first half. This 2-3 zone is getting shredded like a slice of cheese. Thanks, John. Just a couple hours from now, Adrian Autry is set to be cemented as Syracuse men's basketball's next head coach. Join us for coverage of the introduction ceremony and press conference at 10 later this morning. We'll have quotes and updates from the Mello Center on our Twitter page at WAER Sports. Over on Ernie Davis Legends Field, Syracuse men's lacrosse is 1 day away from a rivalry clash with number 10, Johns Hopkins. The Orange try for their first win over the Blue Jays since 2020. Last year, the Qs traveled to Homewood Field to take on JHU, but it didn't go as planned.
25 yards from Cage, down to 15 to shoot. The Orange need to hurry. Cook gets double teamed as he spins away from a defender, then loses both of them, attacks the cage. Cook's gonna shoot, his shot off the post. Rebound goes to Hopkins, and the Blue Jays easily clear and go into the offensive zone.
WAER's John Dales on the call. Syracuse fell to Johns Hopkins 10-7 on a day where the Orange hit 9 posts, according to Gary Gate. The Cuse looks for revenge against the Blue Jays and its first ranked win of the year in the process. You can join us to find out if the Orange can complete those tasks tomorrow afternoon. Our coverage starts when the McClurg team countdown to face-off at 3:30. Staying in the Dome, number 2 SU women's lacrosse continues ACC play tomorrow against number 12 Notre Dame. Opening draw control is slated for noon, right before the men's game. And finally, Niagara topped Siena 71-65 last night in the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference Tournament quarterfinal. The Purple Eagles duel with Iona tonight at 6 in the semifinal round. John Eads, WAER Sports.